Alright, you goobers. So first things first, sorry if I sound kind of stuffy or, out of it. I have some mild allergies going on, mostly just because I'm allergic to people's bullshit of following lost beings and get lost in the sauce, but hey, you can't help them all, I guess, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Solar Systems, where we help you understand the system your soul goes into. This is Moon Days with Michael. I'm your host of our channel, Michael, and I am cutting out the esoteric middleman and giving you the tools you need to connect yourself right to the source. Now, I apologize for slipping, but I'm kind of standing in a puddle. And that was my second take of doing that shot, and I don't feel like doing it again, so we're just going to leave it like that. So I'm sorry. But anyways, platform, tree, chair, puddle, sunny day. We must be talking about the Orion constellation. So with that being said, we're talking about Tabit. I mean, yeah, you guys know the drill with this. Orion constellation, masterclass. Yeah, let's just hop into it and start talking about the star Tabit. We're talking about its placement, its influence, its natures, its fortune, and basically giving you the understanding of what it means to have this in your chart or conjuncting some kind of planet. With that being said, though, let's hop into it. So, Tabit can be found in around 12 degrees of Gemini at this time. You know, Gemini is like most of the Orion constellation. And it also has an orb of 2. Now, this star has the nature of the Moon, Mars, and here's a kicker, Pluto. We'll get to that in a little bit. So before we actually start talking about the influence of this star, we kind of have to break down the 2 different ways of viewing the star's shape and form. So with that being said, there are 2 ways to view what Tabit is actually in. It is either in the shield of the Orion constellation, or it's in like a pelt or a trophy, depending on how you want to look at it. However, the intended viewpoint of this star was to have it be viewed as being inside or the shield of the Orion constellation. And we're going to break that down. So with that being said, its influence. Now this influence, even though it is in the shield of the Orion constellation, it isn't necessarily very protective. It is, but it's not. The whole point of it being the shield is that its energy is all about taking someone else's attacks, basically, and in this realm this can be words, actions, basically taking anything that's coming your way, spinning it around, and then throwing it back tenfold, which is where the whole Pluto thing gets into, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now, some people like to view this as actually being like a trophy, like a lion's pelt. While I understand why people view it that way, with the Orion constellation being the hunter, that wasn't necessarily the main intention. The main intention was it to be the shield, basically whipping around the intentions and throwing it back tenfold, giving yourself a little bit of protection. When people view this as the head or the pelt of a lion, basically what they're referring to is a kind of like trophy thing. Like, this is my reward for my intentions and my hunt and my focus and my desires, right? And while I understand that, that wasn't the main intention. However, viewing the Orion constellation as to be being the head or a trophy or a pelt of a lion can be useful in certain times. The whole point of that being interpreted that way is basically like the collection of your seed that you have planted, the fruits of your labor, you being rewarded for all the work and the patience and the planning and structure that you have actually done. And also, the mindset of actually being a hunter and focusing on what you have to focus on and doing what you have to do. And while that can be helpful and very useful to look at certain times, the main intention was for it to be a shield. And this comes down to its nature. It has the nature of the Moon, Mars, and Pluto. And this is because, think of like what a shield does, right? It is entirely, purely reaction, right? It is basically protection against something that someone is throwing at you. But Tabit, it's more so the Pluto-Martian type thing, where it's going to take that, whip it back around at you, and throw it back at you tenfold, which is where the Pluto comes in, right? And when you think about the influence that the being that created this constellation wanted to carry out, this is basically taking people's words, lost ideas, and outdated concepts, actually taking it, receiving it, and throwing back at them tenfold to try to put them into a transformative state where they can actually learn and experience the things that they actually need to and want to experience, rather than being caught up in someone else's influence. And so when it comes into that, if you're actually carrying out the duty and obligations of the being by using the star in the way that it was intended to be used in, then this can be actually a very fortunate placement. Because one, it is very protective. So instead of, people's intentions and words coming at you and actually hurting you, you're spinning it around and throwing it back on them, right? You're flipping the script on them. So this is very protective and can actually be very fortunate because you're not letting all these things weigh you down and you're focused on your mission. However, if you want to look at it as being the lion's pelt, of this actually being a trophy, then this can still be very fortunate. Why? Because it is literally the representation of you holding the fruits of your labor, right? Receiving all of the things that you wanted to receive by putting in all the work and intentions that you've put out. So however you look at this, this is still a very fortunate star. And with that being said, that's pretty much it. So recap, Tabit can be found in 12 degrees of Gemini with an orb of 2. It has the nature of the Moon, Mars, and Pluto. However, it's mostly just moon and Martian transformation type of energy. And it can be a very fortunate placement. As long as you're not too flashy with, oh, look what I got, and putting this stuff on a pedestal. Just don't do that. You'll be good. You'll be okay. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You guys know the drill at this point. Like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and follow us on our Instagram at Solar Systems, and check out our daily alignments and our reels, bam, where we're helping you understand every day's energy every day on the daily. The daily alignments, breaking it down for you, making it too convenient. Why? Because that's what we do. If you guys would like to request an astrological reading of any kind, email us down below, reading@solarsystems.org. Let us know what you guys want us to talk about next, because keep in mind, we only have about 3 stars left, and Tabit is going to be next. Tabit? Tabit. Tabit is going to be next. And, you know, we're working through our way through the Orion constellation. We're almost done. So if you guys want another constellation broken down, let us know. We'll be happy to do it. But until next time, fly high, y'all.